A passport is a small, powerful booklet issued by your government. It proves your identity and citizenship when you travel internationally. Think of it as your global ID card, containing your name, photo, birthday, and nationality. Without a passport, crossing international borders is nearly impossible. When you arrive in a new country, border officers check your passport to decide if you can enter. Some countries add a visa, a stamp or sticker, showing you have permission to visit. Each stamp in your passport marks a memory and a record of your journeys. People often keep old passports as souvenirs of their adventures. Passports open the world, letting you experience new cultures, meet people, and learn about different ways of life. They're essential for work, study, and vacations abroad. A passport is more than paper. It's your ticket to global opportunity. Losing your passport can cause major travel problems, requiring help from your country's embassy. It's your official identity and proof of citizenship when you're away from home. Always keep your passport safe and know where it is when you travel. For international travelers, it's the single most valuable item you carry. Without it, returning home or continuing your journey becomes very difficult. Your passport is your key to the world and your way back home. Treat it with care, and it will take you far. Every traveler's story begins with this little book. It's the first step to exploring the globe. How do we know if a passport is strong? The Henley Passport Index ranks passports by travel freedom. This index, updated several times a year, is like a global report card for passports. It measures how many countries you can visit without needing a visa in advance. The more countries you can enter visa-free or with a visa on arrival, the more powerful your passport. A high ranking means you can travel easily and spontaneously. For example, a top-ranked passport lets you visit over 190 countries without lengthy visa applications. Countries with strong passports usually have good international relationships. Their citizens are seen as trusted travelers, making journeys smoother. A low rank means more restrictions and paperwork for travelers. If your passport is near the bottom, you might only access a few countries visa-free. The rest require time-consuming visa applications. This can limit opportunities for tourism, business, and education. The Henley Passport Index highlights the global gap in travel freedom. It's a reminder that not all passports are created equal. Where your passport stands can shape your entire travel experience. For years, the U.S. passport was among the world's most powerful. Americans enjoyed easy access to most countries, topping the rankings in 2014. But in 2025, the U.S. passport dropped out of the top 10 for the first time, now tied for 12th place with Malaysia. This marks a significant shift in global mobility. The drop reflects changing international relationships and growing restrictions for Americans. U.S. travelers now face more visa requirements than before. The list of countries requiring advance visas is growing, making spontaneous travel harder. This change signals that American travel privileges are no longer guaranteed. The world is opening up to others, while access for Americans is tightening. The fall in ranking is more than numbers. It's a sign of shifting global influence. Americans must now plan more carefully and expect more scrutiny at borders. The U.S. passport's decline is a wake-up call for travelers used to easy global access. It's a new reality. International travel is less open for U.S. citizens than just a few years ago. This affects not just travel plans, but how Americans are seen abroad. The drop from the top 10 is a major event in the world of passports. With the U.S. passport falling, new leaders have emerged. In 2025, Singapore holds the world's most powerful passport, granting access to 193 countries visa-free. South Korea and Japan follow closely, with access to 190 and 189 countries, respectively. European nations like Germany, Italy, Spain, and Switzerland are also at the top, making travel across continents easy for their citizens. The United Arab Emirates has made a remarkable leap, now tied for 8th place after years of diplomatic efforts. Canada and the UK also outrank the US, reflecting their openness and strong international ties. These countries have built their passport power through diplomacy and welcoming policies. The trend shows that openness and global cooperation lead to greater travel freedom. The most powerful passports now belong to nations that embrace the world, not just their own borders. The rise of countries like Singapore and the UAE proves that size isn't everything. Connections matter most. The global passport landscape is changing fast. The new leaders set the standard for mobility in 2025. The world's most open countries now lead the way in travel freedom. The U.S. passport's decline is largely due to reciprocity. Reciprocity means if one country allows visa-free entry, the other should do the same. The U.S. lets citizens from only 46 countries enter visa-free, while Americans can visit 180 countries without a visa. This imbalance has led countries like Brazil and Vietnam to require visas from Americans. Stricter U.S. immigration policies have also played a role. Recent changes have made it harder for foreigners to visit the U.S., prompting other nations to respond in kind. The world is moving toward more openness, but the U.S. has become more restrictive. Countries like China and the UAE are signing more visa waiver agreements, increasing their passport power. The U.S., by not keeping pace, has lost ground. The trend is clear. Openness builds passport strength. The U.S. passport's fall is a direct result of less reciprocity and stricter policies. In a world that values connection, the U.S. is seen as less welcoming. Let's break down the numbers behind the U.S. passport's fall. In October 2025, Americans can visit 180 countries visa-free, down from 185 just a year ago. That small drop pushed the U.S. out of the top 10. Singaporeans can visit 193 countries, South Koreans 190, and Canadians 183. Even the UK and UAE offer more travel freedom than the US. The US only allows visa-free entry to citizens from 46 countries, far fewer than the number of countries that welcome Americans. This lack of reciprocity is a key reason for the decline. Other countries are responding by tightening their own rules for US travelers. The cost of visiting the US has also risen, with the STA fee nearly doubling in 2025. Higher fees and stricter rules make the US less attractive to visitors. These changes add up, affecting both America's ranking and its reputation. The numbers tell a clear story. The US is falling behind in global mobility. Every lost destination matters in the world of passport rankings. The gap between the US and the leaders is growing. Experts see the U.S. passport's decline as a turning point. Christian H. Kalin of Henley Partners calls it a fundamental shift in global mobility. He says openness now drives passport power, not just history or influence. Dr. Tim Klatt notes that trade conflicts and political tensions have hurt America's travel freedom. Annie Fortsheimer describes the U.S. as increasingly isolationist, focusing inward instead of building global ties. Experts agree. A passport's strength is a form of soft power, respect, trust, and positive relationships. As the U.S. becomes less open, its soft power and reputation suffer. Meanwhile, the world is becoming more open overall. In 2006, the average person could visit 58 countries visa-free. By 2025, it's 111. But the gap between the top and bottom passports is wider than ever. The U.S. isn't keeping up with the trend of increasing openness. Experts warn that this could have long-term effects on America's global influence. The passport's decline is a symbol of changing times. There's a real cost when a country becomes less open. For the U.S., stricter visa rules mean fewer tourists, students, and business travelers, hurting the economy. America's reputation as a welcoming nation is also at risk. A weaker passport signals to the world that the U.S. is less connected and less friendly. This can make it harder for the U.S. to lead on global issues. Some Americans are now seeking second passports or residency elsewhere to protect their travel freedom. The UAE's rise shows that openness brings real benefits, climbing from 42nd to 8th place in a decade. Countries that build bridges, not barriers, see their passport power grow. The U.S. is losing out on economic opportunities and global influence. The cost of less openness is clear: reduced travel freedom and a weaker position in the world. The message is simple: openness pays off. The U.S. must decide if it wants to rebuild its reputation and passport strength. The world rewards those who welcome it. What does this mean for American travelers? More planning is now required. Some destinations need visas, paperwork, and advance applications. Spontaneous trips are harder, and border crossings may involve longer lines and more questions. Americans may notice a shift in how they're treated abroad, with less privilege at immigration. Travel choices may change, with more people visiting countries that remain visa-free. Staying informed about visa rules is now essential. The U.S. passport is still strong, but not at the top. Global mobility can change quickly, depending on politics and policies. Americans must adapt, becoming careful planners like travelers from other countries. Crossing borders is a privilege, not a guarantee. The new reality, travel freedom, can't be taken for granted. For Americans, it's time to embrace a more prepared, global mindset.